Alright, what's going on everyone? It's Super here, and welcome to another Injustice 2 video. No Q&A this time, but I figured that I would do this topic video because TMNT is going to be released tomorrow, and they are absolutely hot right now. Like, not only is everyone talking about TMNT and how awesome they look in our community, but pretty much in every other fighting game community. They've been getting covered from, different websites. So I'm very happy that Injustice 2 is getting some more well-deserved coverage, this late into the release. I mean, for goodness sake, we're only 1 year, or we're almost 1 year into the game's release, which is absolutely crazy. It feels like just yesterday this masterpiece of a game just came out. Of course, the game has its flaws, which I've been very vocal of, but that's more so a playstyle choice that some people take. And I have a ranked video going up which I go more in depth about this, which is my pet peeve about this game. It's going to be called like the absolute worst thing about Injustice 2, so definitely look forward to that very, very soon. But what I'm here to talk about is why I don't think there's going to be a Fighter Pack 4. Now, I know that this is more of, not even an assumption, it's more of a hope from the Injustice 2 fan base that we might get some more DLC characters down the road. Of course, this is something that I would absolutely love because new DLC content brings new life to a fighting game like no other. Perfect example with TMNT. Everyone is hype about this character or these characters. So adding more DLC content right before NetherRealm starts promoting and focusing 100% on their next project, which will be Mortal Kombat 11. I'll go more into that in a little bit. But the release of the Ninja Turtles really reminds me of the last hurrah of Mortal Kombat XL. It reminds me of Fighter Pack 2, and it reminds me of getting Triborg, getting this absolute dream of a character where it's not only one, but it's 4 characters in one. It really reminds me of the last hurrah of Mortal Kombat XL. And a lot of us were very naive, or maybe not so naive, it was just hopeful that there might be some more DLC down the road. Fighter Pack 3. People still think there might be a Fighter Pack 3. And that dream is long dead and gone, my friends. It happened as soon as Fighter Pack 2 was released and MKXL was released. We just didn't want to believe. But I think the same thing is going to happen with Injustice 2. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I think they chose the Ninja Turtles. Obviously, Ninja Turtles have a huge fan base, right? Like, a lot of people love these characters. They grew up watching the shows, the cartoons, they have comics, etc. But I think one of the biggest reasons why they chose TMNT is because they could bust another Triborg and do 4 characters in one. And I did not think that they were going to do it the way they did, which is pretty much exactly like Triborg. You have variations of the Ninja Turtles. You get to pick which one you want to use. They each have their own unique playstyle, excluding some normal moves, which was the same with Triborg, but the Triborg variations played nothing alike. Sector played nothing like Cyrax or Sub-Zero or Cyber Sub or Smoke. And the same thing is going to happen with TMNT. Like, Raphael is going to play nothing like Michelangelo. And, the same thing goes for the other Turtles. So I think that's one of the biggest reasons why they chose him, because, that's like the last hurrah of DLC content for Injustice 2. And man, I gotta say, it's a great way to close out the character roster for Injustice 2. Like I said before, I've never been a fan of it's not that I'm not a fan of the Ninja Turtles, I just didn't watch anything, right? So I didn't grow up with the Ninja Turtles. I'm more of a X-Men animated series kind of guy, and Spider-Man animated series, stuff like that. That's what I grew up watching as a kid. So I'm not really invested in the characters, but man, do they look fucking cool, and they play really, really, really cool, and they each have their own unique play style that's very interesting, because one of them is like a space control machine. There's another rushdown one is filled with 50-50s, and one of them has like a Marvel versus Capcom assist where the other turtles come in and help them. Like, they did a really good job with these characters, and I think this is definitely the best way to close out the DLC / roster for Injustice 2. So we leave off at 38 characters in total, but if you do count the Ninja Turtles as 4 characters, which I definitely will, the roster ends at 41. No joke. That is a giant roster for a fighting game, guys. 41 characters that you can play in Injustice 2, ranging from the Joker to guest characters like TMNT, Batman, Superman. Injustice 2 is amazing. And I think they're going to close it out on that note. We're only about 3.5 months away from E3. We're only about 3.5 months from, or actually like 3 months from getting the announcement trailer for Mortal Kombat 11. So I think this was their way to really close out Injustice 2 DLC content-wise. I will say this, I still think they're going to support the game with patches, and I still think they're going to support the game with multiverse events, and having another season of like the competitive scene. I forgot what the hell the competitive like tournament was called. What was it? Pro Series, I think, Injustice Pro Series. I think there's going to be another season of that for the competitive guys, and they're going to support the game that way with updates and patches, nerfs, buffs. But as far as DLC characters are concerned, I think similar to MKXL, this is going to be it, with TMNT being 4 DLC characters and closing it out that way. They say the same way that Triborg being 4 characters close out MKXL. But that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments section what you guys think. And for people who might not be familiar, NetherRealm has a 2-year cycle where they announce and release work on a different game every 2 years. So MKX came out in 2015. Pretty much an entire year life cycle for DLC. Injustice came out in 2017, 2 years later. Same thing with Injustice, 1 year life cycle as far as DLC content, spanning all the way to 2018. And then Mortal Kombat 11 will come out in 2019, but it will get announced in June of this year. So just a little track record. MKXL or MKX had the announcement trailer released on June 8th, and the Injustice 2 announcement trailer came out on June 2nd. So early on in June, we should expect a announcement trailer for Mortal Kombat XL. And one last thing that I want to touch up on is the comments from Ed Boon as far as like DLC characters well into 2018. And I mean, that sounds like more than just January and February, right? But I don't know. That's the one thing where I'm like, that was the one like bright light as far as Fighter Pack number 4. I was like, man, Ed Boon is saying well into 2018. It doesn't sound like TMNT is going to be the final DLC character, but I think with the realization that these are 4 different characters that the team over at NetherRealm have to create pretty much 4 different character models. It's like if they came up with 4 brand new characters, you know what I mean? Even though they're turtles and they look the same, they still had to animate them differently, and it's pretty much like they came up with these 4 different characters. So I think that was a lot of work for the team. I don't know if Ed Boon's like comments were maybe spur of the moment type thing where he said it. I know he said it multiple times, but we're gonna have to wait and see. But I don't think that there's gonna be any more DLC characters down the road. That's just me. I think similar to MKXL and Triborg, this is the last hurrah of Injustice 2 and their DLC characters. So let me know in the comments section if you guys are happy with the roster. I'll probably be making, once TMNT comes out and I get a good like grasp on how they play, if they're really fun, I'll make a video talking about my opinions on the complete roster of Injustice 2. But man, 41 characters is a lot. That is a lot of variety for a fighting game, and there's a lot of fan favorites in here. I gotta say, man, Injustice 2 roster ended up being quite large, and whether I like it or not, that's for a different video down the road. So that's gonna be the end of today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. What's going on? It's Super here, and thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you guys subscribed if you are not already. Also, check out any of these videos linked at the top. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.